Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to the first episode of this, our tarot time, our tarot journey. Many of us have been acquainted through Tarot by Janine, and it's been a while since some of you who do know me see my face. Tarot is an amazing tool. In fact, part of what brought tarot into the world was so that people could have access to truth. Let's just call it that way, okay? And in many ways, it was almost devised for our time because, let's face it, we've been through a lot. We've been living through the greatest psychological operation ever conducted, and it's still going on. It's a lot of untruth, a lot of misinformation, a lot of disinformation, and a lot of people that want to brandish us as malinformers, let's call it. Now, with tarot readers, we're used to being called names, being called evil and all sorts of things, right? So it's not going to bother us. One thing that people should really understand about tarot cards and how they connect with Western culture is that their deep roots are Christian. So a lot of people don't really understand the intent or the premise that's actually behind the cards, right? And that's what we're going to show you. That's what we're going to help explore. We're going to explore it together. Yeah, and it's going to be really fun. We're going to do a lot of cool things. I got some cool things set up. And yeah, we're just going to continue on. Mostly my intent is to bring awareness and also hope. A little bit of hope. No hopium. People are used to the hopium. But we need to access the other side of what's going on in the world. And so within the spiritual circle, we've always known that politics are there to just divide us. The political motive right now is definitely around division. Right? And so in so many ways, the spiritual side, I guess let's call it, or spiritualism, was devised in a way to sort of offset the politic, right? And many people have become involved over the last couple of centuries, political, apolitical. Every single people's movement has been co-opted by what some are calling the deep state, the globalists, the WEF people, the Davos group, people that have been ingrained in the infrastructure, and their agenda has become very obvious. It's out in the open. It's all out in the open. So, perfect time to start this. Perfect time for people to start their own endeavors. It's time. So here we are. Okay, so something really cool. For the people that are joining us right now, they will be from the Tarot by Janine channel. The beautiful audience. We had an amazing array of people that came and visited Janine's channel. The beautiful thing that I found with Janine and the audience with Tarot by Janine was the community and the connection, right? And so that was beautiful. So in the midst of us shooting Tarot by Janine, I had this idea. I went to this excellent little tarot shop in Calgary, and they were selling these tarot cards. Secret, mystery, all in an envelope. So I thought, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to purchase a whole bunch of these, and we're going to open them with Tarot by Janine, except we got censored. We got taken off the air for various reasons, right? And it didn't happen. So, and it's funny, there is a purpose for everything, no matter what. So what I did is I bought 14 of these cards. 4 of these cards, I guess tan color, and then 10. So we got 10 here and 4 here. So what we're going to do, because it's interesting, I do subscribe to numerology. Numerology is a really sort of important thing. And so what we've got here is we've got, if we take out 2 of these cards, initially we've got 12. So I think what we'll do is we'll open over a series of episodes, we'll open up 3 at a time. So if we open up 3 cards, after 4 episodes, we'll have drawn out the entire wheel, right? And then the 13th and the 14th card will be part of the entire reading that we do. So this is a little surprise, and this is like for the audience. This is for us, okay? And then what we're gonna do, so we're gonna open up 3, and then tomorrow or the next day, we're gonna open up the next 3, and then the next day we're gonna open up, and it's also to get you guys to come, join us, help grow this new channel, right? But this is gonna be a message for the audience, right? And then after, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna close it off with a little read on the state of the world, a spiritual read. Okay, this is for us. This is for our new journey, and now this is also part of a reading that we're going to compile later. But right now, this is not only about this channel, but this is for you at home, and for everybody that's involved, right? And anybody that you get involved. So I want you to share this. I want you to subscribe. Like, comment. We want comments. But share this. This is how we're going to overcome the censorship and all of this stuff. Okay, ready? What is the first card? Oh, 5 of Swords. We'll open up all 3 first. That's a foreboding card. It can be very positive though. We've been through this already. A lot of us have been isolated. Do you remember the pandemic? Plandemic? See, this is the thing. We went through this. Now it's time to get back. It's time to grab those swords back. This isn't a time to self-censor. This is a time to get up, speak your truth. It's needed. Truly needed. 4 of Cups. It's kind of nice. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. So, 5 of Swords, right? This is like, in a way, it's kind of like a card of defeat, but it's also a card of victory. What side do we sit on? Right? This is very key, right? Swords always, in some ways, represent thoughts, communication, mind, right? It's also a sign of victory. So in many ways, our side is victorious. Not fully yet, but we are stemming the tide. We are taking the swords away from these elements that we've been up against for a long time. Cups represent love, represent the heart, represent spirit, right? So it's through the motivation of the spiritual, which is why we're here, right? People are activating, right? This is the awakening. This is really about the awakening. People can't see it though with the 4 of Cups. A lot of people, especially the people that are activated, like sitting there meditating, what's going on? I want things to happen quicker. They are happening. They really are happening. So talking about moving forward in our lives, especially in spite of what's been happening, right? And in some ways, this is actually trying to show us to not regard, so much of it. So much of what's going on, even though it influences us. These darksiders, let's call them, want us, the ones that are awakening, to not fulfill our co-creative destiny of creating our reality, of creating a new vision for this world and for our families and for the people that we love. This is what's creating the energy that is pushing these guys away. And people are being called, the calling, like with this Knight of Cups. calling of the heart, right? So pretty awesome. Very important for people to connect right now. Connect spiritually, connect with other people, give time of day to like do a meditation, get into your spiritual practice to prepare to go out into the world, right? I think with the Five of Swords too, it really has a lot to do with like, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names, they really can't hurt me. And it's kind of like that. It's like, it's developing detachment in some ways so that we can fulfill the next step. Sound good? Sounds awesome. Okay, so like I said, tomorrow or the next day when we put out another video, we're going to open up the next cards. Now what we're going to do is a little reading about current state of the world. What do we need to hear? What's going to help us? We're not going to get into too many particulars, right? Too many details. Just going to kind of keep it broad. Now, one thing with Janine, when we set up Tarot by Janine, me and Janine have done readings. Janine has done readings for a very long time. In fact, I consider her on a master level. And she's done thousands and thousands of readings. Me and her worked in a little shop together, right? And that's why we got the idea to do video, right? I moved into video and film and had this idea to do a channel. But what I wanted to do was to do these videos where it was like very similar to when you would go and see a reader and you go and sit across from the reader, right? And so that's what we're establishing. So we're setting up, right? It's almost like you're sitting across from me. Hi. And we're doing a reading. So this is a little message for the audience. Now remember, this is a message for us. This also kind of shows us like what's going on in the world, right? And will give us a little bit of guidance. Wow, we know this already. Reversed Lovers represents division and being at odds with oneself, but also being pitted against one another from outside forces. In fact, if people remember the Devil card, the Devil and the Lovers actually are kind of synonymous, right? In a way, the reversed Lovers represents, it can be like the Devil, right? This is a lot of division, right? So past, present, future, right? You know, and I'm talking about the present, right? So what's above it is the Two of Wands, right? So interesting enough, like how this guy looks, right? He's got his hand positioned on one rod and behind him is another rod that he set up, let's say. But in his hand, he's focusing on the world. It's kind of reminiscent of what I had said about those three previous cards, right? So in a lot of ways, things have been set up. It's a setup. We've been set up, but we've also have been setting things up, right? And when I say we, I'm talking about us. I'm talking about us that are awakening. I'm talking about us that are in the light. This is also a reference to those that oppose us, the deep state, the globalists. People, in spite of what they wish, because a lot of people don't want the current scenario in the world. Like you name it, it's a problem right now. Doesn't matter what it is. And people, especially people that are living in the world with kids, families, this and that, they've got a lot on their plate right now. They have to face a lot, right? And it's against their wishes. But ultimately, this scenario that we've been through and are going through on a higher level is there to fulfill an agreement that we've all made as a part of that awakening, as a part of building a new world. And it has a lot, like Nine of Cups, whenever you see the Nine of Cups, that's like a wish fulfillment card. Like you have a wish, except it's reversed. So people don't see how this is benefiting them, I guess, right? And we know what's been going on the last 2 years. So, okay, last 2 years, 2023, 2021, in the heart of the pandemic. It's been chaos. It's really thrown people off, right? A lot of what the I guess the attack has been against children and the spiritual side of the young ones, let's say. And then pentacles represent work, right? But also our life direction. Remember, we're talking collectively. So this is kind of what has been going on, especially in the last little bit, but in the last 2 years especially, right? It will fulfill itself. Things do turn around, right? And that's kind of what this is talking about, right? Is we've been under a spell. We've been under a cloud for so long, right? Like unbelievable. 60 years of it, 100 years of it, thousands of years of it, 60 years, 30 years for sure. Everything has come to light, how much we've been co-opted, and how much, like, especially around the internet and social media, how it's social engineering and part of a psychological operation conducted by the intelligence communities of all the major powers of the world, but like the United States. It's all come out, right? This is what we're facing. This is clearing. That's the near future, right? So it's this our opportunity to get really clear with what our life direction is. A lot of us are changing life directions right now, old and young. It's part of it. So it's a patience game right now. We do have to be patient. We have to kind of, I guess, see what is real in our world and what's going to help us and what's been part of the illusion that's been placed there, right? Because that's a big part of it. That's what we're dealing with. We still have a ways to go, but what we're doing is ultimately learning a new process, new gifts, new skills, and connecting with new people. We need to look around. This has been the message for the last couple of years. Look around us. What's going on in my world? How does this online thing and what's going on with the world connect with the real world? Getting out in the world, connecting with others. It's really important. We're being directed towards the right groups of people, right? Fear. They're motivating all of this based on fear. They have captured us for thousands of years with fear. The Catholic Church has perfected this. And in fact, that's what these cards were there for, is to offset that, right? And to get to the spiritual core. A lot of people have a lot of different understandings, but there's a lot going on out there, basically demifying tarot reading, spiritualism and stuff. And yes, there is a part of it where some of these people are on the dark side. It has been co-opted, but there is another part that is of the other path. And those people have always been there. That's why these things were devised. So people really need to educate themselves and not rely on what is being told to them, via like internet and all that, and dig a little bit deeper, right? I mean, spirit, like Hermetic philosophy and this kind of thing, like with astrology, which is what the tarot kind of encapsulates as well, respects and honors all world religions, right? In fact, Christianity is a very important part of that whole progression. And the teachings of Jesus are very important, but are not the only thing, right? New Age spirituality has a lot to do with being tolerant to other viewpoints, right? So this is kind of what we're moving towards. You're going to find that people that you thought were your enemy are going to turn around. You're also going to be shown who is against you and who's not, right? That kind of thing. But it's more about like trying to get us together. That's why the vibe is so cool right now. I know down in the States, it's pretty heavy. We're moving towards an election. Now we knew this. We knew this with the presidential election. We knew this with COVID and everything, that it was going to go to the 2024 election race. Okay. And as we get closer, and the more these guys get caught out, they're going to trigger more and more stuff. That's why now it's important to get out there, connect with people more and more and more and more. We're being called. We're being shown what our heart direction is. Okay. And one more. Juggling, saving money. Money is definitely a thing right now, right? Man, people have been doomsaying for a while and it just hasn't happened. So money is energy. That's what people need to fundamentally kind of connect with first, right? But I think people, you need to sort of be mindful, right? It's also like juggling the material world. Like some things like for instance, like doing this kind of thing, like doing tarot readings or even doing video. I've had to juggle 2 lives. I've had to juggle many things, right? This is the kind of position that we're being put in. A lot of people that have families understand this, right? But especially those that are awakening, we do have to kind of still juggle, right? We still have to kind of be able to move, right? This card is actually kind of awesome because what's in the background is these ships moving, right? Moving, surfing the wave, right? And like, that's kind of what we're being shown, is to kind of move with the motion of the time and not get caught up by some of the unreality that's being pushed on us, right? But yet still taking part. We need to take part. We need to engage. There's certain segments of people that are giving up. A lot of people are feeling disappointed. Some people that people thought were being honest proved to not be, or proved to not have the right information, right? The 7 of Swords, kind of the significance of that. As soon as things start turning into like a war and very political and lawyer oriented and law, people start to tune out. And that's kind of what's happened, right? So in a way, it's kind of a signal. Like, I mean, if it's part of our calling to go in and get active politically, then yes. To go get active in our communities, yes. Whatever it be, right? Small or big, it doesn't matter. Speaking out is a big thing. Even just having little conversations, but like, yeah, it's time to get active. I mean, a lot of people, like, I know a lot of people still feel inactive with things, right? And so that's part of it. The only way that we're going to move into this new water is if we do first hold the vision of it, but also activate it, move towards it ourselves, right? Some of us are being like really called to move places, because it's happening, man. Some of these places are becoming unlivable. You guys sitting at home are sitting in some of those places right now, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so that was pretty clear. That was pretty awesome. And so I think we're going to like close it up today. That's good for now. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on this first episode. Please share this. Share. This is how we're going to get around the big tech issues and all the censorship and stuff. But also like and subscribe, right? Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me everything, please. And join us again on the next time of this wonderful experience. Bye-bye.